Imagine this. You're sitting inside a big, lively house. Laughter echoes from the living room. The aroma of spices and fresh rotis fills the air. Grandparents, parents, uncles, aunts, cousins, everyone is under the same roof. Yet you feel completely alone. Not because there are no people, but because no one truly sees you. Every time tears welled up in your eyes as a child, you heard, Chup raho, kahenge. Beta, be strong. Don't make everyone worry. So you learned to swallow your feelings. You learned to smile even when your heart was breaking. You became the good child in order to be loved. Years later, you're an adult now. You may still live in that crowded joint family, or you may have moved out, but that hollow feeling has never really left. You are the emotional orphan, a child emotionally orphaned inside a house full of people. Your family asked if you had eaten, if you had slept, if your marks were good. But very few ever asked, how do you feel? Today, in Episode 2 of The Good Child Trap, we're going to gently look at this silent wound that so many of us, Indian, South Asian deep thinkers, carry quietly our whole lives. The wound we don't talk about because talking about it feels like betraying the family. Have you ever felt this way? Come with me. We'll go inside this pain together, slowly, honestly, without judgment. Because only when we finally see this orphan inside us can we begin to give it the love it has been waiting for all these years. Let's name it clearly. An emotional orphan is not a child without parents. It is a child whose emotions were never truly seen, held, or validated, even though the physical family was right there. This concept comes from attachment theory, developed by John Bowlby and Mary Ainsworth. In a joint family, the attachment style that often forms is what psychologists call insecure ambivalent or dismissive avoidant. The message the child receives is, your feelings are secondary. The family's harmony and reputation come first. This is different from the conditional love we explored in Episode 1. Conditional love says, I will love you if you behave. Emotional orphaning says, your inner world does not matter enough to be acknowledged. In many South Asian joint families, love is shown through duty, food, financial support, and sacrifice, all beautiful expressions. But emotional presence is often missing. The child learns early. If I express sadness, anger, or fear, I become a burden. So the child adapts. They silence the feeling. They perform the role of the good son, the good daughter, the responsible grandchild. And inside, a quiet orphan is born. Why does this happen so commonly in joint families? First, the powerful phrase we all know, log kya kahenge? What will people say? This single question trains generations to prioritize external reputation over internal truth. A child's grief, ambition, or confusion is quickly silenced because it might bring shame or disturb the elders. Second, the hierarchy of respect. In many homes, elders' emotions are sacred, while children's emotions are dismissed as drama, mood swings, or immaturity. You hear, beta adjust kar lo. Don't argue with your grandparents. Girls should be quiet and accommodating. Boys don't cry. Third, achievement becomes the only acceptable language of love. Good marks, IIT, IAS, a stable job, marriage at the right age, these are celebrated loudly. But loneliness, anxiety, or the need for personal space? Rarely discussed. Neuroscience helps us understand the cost. When a child's emotions are repeatedly invalidated, the brain's limbic system, responsible for processing feelings, learns to suppress signals. Over time, many adults develop alexithymia, difficulty identifying and expressing their own emotions. They know they feel off, but they can't name what it is. Common signs you grew up as an emotional orphan in a joint family. You apologize before sharing how you really feel. You feel guilty for wanting time alone. You struggle to say no to relatives. You smile and serve others even when you're burning out. In relationships, you become either overly clingy or emotionally distant. You feel like an outsider even when surrounded by family. If several of these feel familiar, you are not broken. You are responding exactly as a sensitive child would in an environment that did not have the tools to hold your emotions. This wound does not stay in childhood. As adults, many of us carry an inner child who is still waiting to be seen. This leads to chronic people-pleasing, difficulty setting boundaries with family, and repeating the same emotional neglect in our own marriages or parenting. We may choose partners who are safe but emotionally unavailable, mirroring what we knew. Or we explode in close relationships because the suppressed feelings finally demand to be heard. Some develop high-functioning anxiety or depression. Others feel numb, successful on paper, but disconnected from joy and intimacy. The deepest pain is this. Even when we move out and build our own home, the emotional orphan travels with us until we turn around and finally parent that child ourselves. Healing does not mean rejecting your family or your culture. It means adding something that was missing: emotional presence for yourself. Here are 3 gentle starting practices. Write a letter to your emotional orphan. Sit quietly and write to the child you once were. Tell them, "I see you. I hear you. Your feelings were never too much. I am here now." Read it aloud to yourself. Do this once a week. Name the feeling practice. Every night for 10 days before sleep, ask, "What did I feel today?" Name it without judgment: sadness, anger, loneliness, shame. Just naming begins to rewire your brain. Small, respectful boundaries. Practice saying, "I need 30 minutes alone to recharge. I'll join you after." Say it kindly, but firmly. Guilt will come. That's normal. The guilt belongs to the old pattern, not to your truth. Remember, you are not abandoning your family by healing. You are becoming the emotionally mature adult your inner child needed. The joint family gave you a roof, shared meals, and a sense of belonging. But only you can give yourself the emotional home you've been longing for. You are no longer the orphan. You are the one who has finally come home to yourself. Thank you for sitting with this heavy but important conversation. If this episode touched you, leave a comment. What is one sentence you heard growing up that taught you to hide your feelings? Your words may help someone else feel less alone. If you know someone carrying this silent wound, share this episode with them. Subscribe and turn on notifications. Episode 3, Shadi Ka Pressure, is coming soon. Until then, be gentle with the child inside you. They've waited long enough.